And who would think that a high school gym would be where the Lord touched the life of a student? My name is Alex Daum, and I'm from the small town of Platt, South Dakota. Before the Todd Becker Foundation came to Platt, I was just living a nice, easy life, the Christian lifestyle, I guess you could call it. But also personally, I was hiding some things behind closed doors that nobody knew about. I was struggling with the addiction of pornography, and that sin had really wrapped itself up into my life and changed the way that I viewed people, and it changed the way that I viewed church. It changed everything in my life.
As you sat up there and you heard Todd's story unfold, what was going on in your heart as you listened?
My heart really began to soften, especially when you got to the part about him being at a hotel room with his friends.
To a dark, lonely hotel room. And that was the hotel room where Todd took one step off that narrow road.
Before you even said it, I started to realize where you were going with your message.
Brought along some pornography.
As soon as you mentioned the word pornography, my heart began to beat out of my chest.
So that moment came, that critical moment, as we do in every assembly, where we challenge the audience, challenge you to make a decision and turn away from that path of destruction and get up and walk down and stand on that narrow road. As you made your way down, what was going through your mind?
As I came down the steps of the bleachers, a lot of things were going on in my mind. There's a lot of things that were trying to hold me back from talking with you. I didn't want to, and there's a voice in my head that kept saying, you don't need to talk to anybody. And I convinced myself, okay, I'm not going to talk to anybody unless they approach me first. And it was probably 3 or 4 seconds later that you approached me and you asked what my name was. But then you got right to the point and you asked me, so do you see yourself on that road that Todd was on?
What do you recall the most from that one-on-one conversation?
In Matthew, when we looked at the whitewashed tomb, it's when Jesus is talking to Pharisees and he says that you guys are like whitewashed tombs, beautiful on the outside, but inwardly full of destruction and lawlessness. And at that moment, the Lord really convicted me and said, are you really living for me? Or are you like these Pharisees who think that they're good, but really their hearts are far from me? I remember at the end of our one-on-one, you asked me, are you ready to give your life to Jesus Christ? And to be honest, the thing that I thought was, I've already done this before. But I knew that those times when I prayed a prayer, but nothing in my life changed. And I decided, I'm not going to be a lukewarm Christian anymore. I'm going to be 100% in. We prayed, and I just truly surrendered everything to the Lord. You asked if there was a pastor that I can get in contact with, and I was like, well, yeah, my dad is my pastor. And so you said, well, would you tell him this so he can help keep you accountable? And so I went home that night and I had a chance to talk with my dad. And it was a pretty uncomfortable conversation, but I knew it was something I needed to do. He had the chance to really kind of help and direct me in the struggle that I was having. But on top of that, the Lord really began to change my heart. I wanted to be in the Word, and so I was in the Word every day.
Hi, friends. This is Keith Becker of the Todd Becker Foundation. Barna Group.
I heard about the stint internship program over the radio. I was listening to KGRD, and I heard that the Todd Becker Foundation was starting an internship, and immediately I was interested. I really wanted the opportunity to be a part of the ministry that God used to change my life.
A short-term ministry internship program called Stint.
So when you were wrestling through whether or not to go to college or whether or not to join us for our Stint internship, what things were you wrestling through? What was going on in your mind when you were trying to make this decision?
You know, I can't really explain the exact feeling, but I just knew that this was where the Lord was calling me to go. And I decided that I wasn't going to be the Lord of my life. I was going to let Him be the Lord of my life. And if this is where He wanted me to go for this season, then that's where I was going to go.
Well, now, Alex, you are a stint intern with our ministry. What's it like to sit in that tour bus and to think that you are being equipped to go out into the world and lead people to Christ. What's that experience like?
As we travel, we learn. We have Bible studies on the bus as we go from location to location. And through that, we get to learn so much about how to better present the gospel to all these different kids that grew up in different situations, have different stories, different lifestyles, and we get to show them that they need Jesus no matter where they're at. Why do we believe that Jesus Christ is Lord? We get asked that all the time on the road, and so many Christians, they can't give a biblical answer or any type of answer to that question. It's just the way that they are raised. But now through the training, we can explain why and how we know that Jesus Christ is the true God. My name is Alex Daum, and I committed my life to Christ at a Todd Becker Foundation event. And now God is using me to lead others to Christ as a stint intern.